Ready? We're going?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
We're live because I said so.
Okay. I like it.
Even though we've been kind of recording, we're just not going to play that beginning
Okay.
intro part.
Yeah, we'll
I
just
guess.
chop it off.
Chop, chop. Hiya.
Excited.
So anybody who's listening, guess what? By the time you hear this, it's already chopped off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it.
you
It's
didn't
not stored
you didn't hear
anymore.
about our plan to take over the world that we were talking about.
Well, I already took over the world because it's just my simulation. So
So it's both. I've decided that it's both of our simulations.
no, it's mine. Again, like I said, actually, when I was talking to you earlier, like I said, when I walked in the house earlier, and I was saying thank you to the girl, but yet she was not in the room; she was elsewhere. So I had to say thank you because she was doing something, but I didn't realize she had left the room. And when I said thank you and looked into that room, the TV said back to me, "You're welcome," and was singing a song, "You're welcome."
Yeah, see?
And the movie that was playing was that Monoa or Mono or whatever the fuck
Momoa?
that, yeah, whatever it is. It's the
Manoa?
it's that Disney movie where she like has to go find some. It's the rocks in it. It's some
Okay.
cartoon. It's for the kid.
Is it about a fish who has to go find things?
No,
Oh, that's Finding Nemo.
yeah,
I don't have a child, so I don't know what the movies are.
no.
I know.
I don't know.
I know Momoa is like the Hawaiian with the
Yeah, that's
tattoos.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what was on, and it just started playing this song that says "You're welcome," and it was this whole song about being "You're welcome," and it was just like the most perfect timed way because I walk in and I'm saying thank you, looking into that room, nobody's there, but the TV just says "You're welcome," and then goes into that song.
Yeah, see?
I'm telling you,
Well, what about
my simulation.
Yeah, well, it can't be because the same thing happened to me yesterday because I was reading an article about money, and then on the TV, some song came on about making money. You need money, money,
Wait.
money, money, make money, get money.
Wait, hold on, wait. Where were you reading this article?
It's on my phone.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
Well, that's exactly why,
Because your phone's tracking you.
Yeah.
So,
of course. But then how is it on TV? It just comes on to make money, money, money. All about money. I have an even weirder one. My friend was telling me a story about how a girl that he knew used to sell him cigarettes from the convenience store. And he hadn't talked to her in like 10 years. And randomly, after he told me the story about her, she texted him on lunch break and like hadn't seen or talked to her in like 10 years. Is that weird?
no.
I think that's weird.
That happens. That's just part of like the whole
That's the collective
collective.
consciousness.
Yes, that's
Okay.
the whole collective. Actually, you want to know something really funny? So, I've been trying to get myself back into a good shape.
Yeah, you're looking pretty good.
Well, thanks. I kind of fell off a little bit, and like I'll go on, then I'll fall off, and it's just because the problem is it's the schedule. Like I think I have a good schedule, and then it just doesn't end up working out that way. So I have to reevaluate, and during that time, it's like, oh, I can eat this little crap or whatever. But so when I do cardio, it's something I hate doing. Like I just can't do it. I don't
hate
get into that. I never like doing it, and so I need some sort of distraction.
Yeah.
And what I do is I have all, 23 MCU movies
Okay.
of all three phases right now, from Iron Man all the way up to Spider-Man Far From Home. So I have all the movies, and what I do is I watch the movies while I'm doing cardio. So right now I'm at Captain Marvel, which, if you know, is later in the MCU. So I watch them all from release date. So it goes Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and continues on. So I'm at Captain Marvel. And the scene I was watching earlier, they were like getting ready for their mission. I don't know if you've watched that movie or not, but they were getting ready for their mission. And they were saying, like, the way they are, because they're the Kree, and so they're not human. They're like, oh yeah, if we're ready to give yourself, or be ready to give yourself to the collective. So it's just this weird thing because it's a play on being in the collective consciousness, and part of the little thing, like their AI or whatever you want to call it, is like the collective, and that's what they call it. So it's just kind of this funny thing because, well, it's a play off that.
Yeah, for sure.
Essentially.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Sounds like 7 of 9 of the Borg. Have you ever watched Star Trek?
Nope.
Oh, 7 of 9.
Nope.
7 of my. Do you like attractive
How about
blonde
8
women?
pieces? How about 9 pieces,
9 pieces of 8.
9 pieces.
9
of 8.
pieces of whatever we had with us at the time.
Yes.
That's
It's such a good. Did you hear that they wanted to remake that movie?
Why?
I don't know. Not the third one, the first one. Like bringing it back, but without Johnny Depp.
That's weird.
It's like that doesn't make any sense.
Have you seen what's going on with him and his ex-fiance, Amber Heard? I
No.
think her name is. Oh, dude.
What?
So she, during their like breakup or something, and I'm going to get all the details wrong because this is something that I spend about one hair of a time, a tiny little fraction.
Which is a lot more than what I spent because I spend 0 hair of the time.
It's just something I glance through of watching the news. So or reading the news. But when, and that's why I'm going to get these details wrong. But apparently during, like after they broke up or something, she was claiming that he was abusive and then sued for like millions of dollars. And then he countersued her. And now all of these tapes are leaking out of her admitting that she was abusive to him. And they have the actual recordings. And she's going like, oh, I threw a water bottle at you and hit you in the face and boo-hoo and blah, blah, blah. Like,
Wow.
just blatantly like incriminating herself and admitting that she's abusive. And it's all leaking out that he's not the abusive one, that she's the abusive one. But I feel bad for him because he had to go through this. When a woman makes an accusation towards a man, it's automatically believed, as it should be, but then that can tarnish a person's reputation. And Johnny Depp had to go through this whole legal battle, and it turns out that she's the one who's the asshole in the whole thing. And all these recordings are coming out of her being an asshole. Like, you're a horrible person. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen to her, because if that was a man abusing a woman, you know, it's over for that guy. You know, and Johnny Depp had to really defend himself, and turns out he's Johnny Depp is not an abuser. It turns out he was the abused. Now, is it embarrassing for a man to admit that he's a victim of abuse? There's a double.
Well, it's against the cultural norm.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen, but the thing is, it's like you need to get out of it.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. There's aggressive females or boss females, you could say, which isn't really true or about that, but it's more, again, it's alpha or beta or something. And so they're the ones who are in charge, and you have men that just kind of go with it or succumb to it or are like passive or whatever it might be. And unfortunately, that's the problem. Like, you kind of gotta like stand your own ground and say, no, this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And you gotta put your foot down.
Or get out of there.
Well, you gotta put your foot down either way.
Sure.
And whether you're stopping it or not. And
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, sometimes things happen and like you can get a role reversal just how the dynamics are. Mm-hmm. So it's you know, it's a weird thing, but yeah, it does happen.
For
it's
sure.
a problem.
I was at the river with my friend going for a walk, but she's a yoga instructor. I don't know why it doesn't relate to the story, but anyway, we were at the river.
So in other words, she was wearing yoga pants.
She definitely was wearing yoga pants.
A nice yoga top.
Yeah.
And she probably had a nice little ass on her.
She does.
And you're like walking behind just a little bit.
No,
kind of taking a nice little peek.
I should, but since our friendship had grown past the...
Please.
Yeah. We were walking at the river, and there was a woman who was one of those boss women that you're talking about. She's walking, and there was a man behind her with her purse.
Let's
don't
not
exist.
let's not use boss woman because a boss woman is more like somebody who's confident, who's good at like in their own skin.
Yeah.
And it's usually a term of endearment or a positive.
You know who I think?
And I don't want to spin it in in negative.
No, I don't either. We're gonna have to think of something different.
Let's just use an abusive female.
Yeah, that's a perfect term for it, because you know who I think's a boss woman, who says is a boss woman all the time? Our friend. And our mutual friend who we play cards with, I'm like, you're such a boss. And I mean it in an awesome way. So I don't want to give it a negative connotation. So We were at the river, and I don't want to say abusive, but there's got to be a good term for like is there a female term for a female douchebag? Because that would be this woman. So she's walking through the river, down the river, and there was a man about 3 or 4 feet behind her who's carrying her purse, and you could tell she's just like, and you could tell that
My big question is, what was her weight level?
she was not obese.
Oh,
I was surprised, but she's one of those. I can't even explain, but if you saw it in real life, the man was carrying her purse, and me and my friend that I was walking with, it became an inside joke between us. We called him Steven. Steven, I told you, 3 feet behind me, Steven. Carry my purse 3 feet behind me, like that type of woman.
okay, Karen.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Damn it, Karen.
Yeah, so every time we see like a woman who's clearly the leader and the man is the submissive, Steven, I told you, 3 feet behind me, Steven, carry my purse. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
But those relationships do exist, and the man is like so just used to that. It's a role reversal, but they're out there. So it's that same guy who's probably getting beat up at home that's afraid to say anything.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
the stereotypical wife beater. They got man beaters out there. It's true.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I mean, it's very uncommon compared, but the thing is, well, here's the real thing though. Is it actually that uncommon?
Exactly.
Because it just doesn't necessarily go reported or
Yeah, the
anything.
men
It
aren't
kinda
saying
goes
anything.
unnoticed.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the big thing. It's
Yeah.
like, well, is this something that actually happens a lot more and it just goes unreported,
I
or
think so.
what?
Yep.
And there's some real problems there, and it's
Mm-hmm.
one of those things you just kind of gotta realize, I guess, your own self-worth. This
Well,
isn't an outreach.
It is an outrage.
It's called just grow a pair of balls.
Yeah.
Be a man.
Yeah.
And put your woman in line.
Yeah.
Bitch, why don't I have the food ready, or why isn't the food ready when I get home from work?
Yeah. Make me a sandwich.
Make me a Sammy. I just got laid. I don't care. Make me a goddamn Sammy.
Yeah. That's so crazy. Yeah, I bet you it's underreported. You're probably right. And Karen got drunk last night again and punched me in the eye.
That bitch.
Steven, 3 feet behind me, Steven. Carry my purse, Steven. So it became it's been a running
Yeah,
joke.
see, that's
for
going to be an
the last
inside
6 years.
joke because for me, it's like, oh, okay.
I know.
That's
you
not
can't-
really funny.
You had to be there
Yeah.
to see it. But there are those women that are like, I told you. Don't make me tell you again.
I'm going to cut you, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut you deep.
Exactly it. It's funny.
So, yeah. What else has been going on?
It's been a boring week for me. I don't have anything to report.
Oh, that's shitty.
I went to work. Actually, should we talk about the meeting that I go to? That's kind of
No, because you're dependent on that meeting, and
Pretty
I'm not
dependent.
really going to depend you on that.
yeah. Some would say I'm codependent.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I got to tell you something that's going on that I'm enjoying. So I've been trying to make my existence much nicer in my home life in terms of finding plants to be very nice. And it helps because they filter the air, they oxygenate it and make it all nice. And you kind of get that nice feeling though, because it's like you walk into a room, you smell the soil, you smell the plants, and it's like, this is just nice. And it helps like with the mind and all that stuff. So I've been on like this plant kick lately, buying plants. And I guess NASA says that you should have one plant for every 100 square feet of your house for like the most effective forms of like filtration and oxygen and all that good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I did. I went on the NASA plant list of things that filter your air the best.
Well, I'm not looking at the plants. I'm just buying plants that I enjoy and that I like. So me and my girlfriend were going to a couple of different plant shops around the area. And yeah, they got some good stuff. And, it's a plant shop. And being that it's a plant shop, you go in there and it's quite expensive. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll buy some little small stuff and get it and be happy. So yesterday I go to Lowe's because I have to pick up some PVC glue for a pipe.
Yeah. Polyvinyl chloride.
Sure.
Okay.
We don't need to establish. I think everybody knows who the fuck or what the fuck PVC is.
All right.
So yeah, I had to pick up some PVC glue and cement for it, or primer and cement. And I walk in, and I'm so happy because I walk in and I see all the grills and all the summer stuff, and I'm just like, oh, spring is coming after this shitty ass cold winter. And it's not really been cold, which is nice, but it's been no fucking sun, and it's driving me insane. But so I walk in and I see all these plants that they're pulling out. There's like half of the plants that are there, and normally I go to Home Depot. And so I went to Lowe's this time because it was on the way where I had to go. So my girlfriend was in the car, but she didn't come in because our daughter was sleeping. So she stayed in the car with her, and I went in. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I was going to look at the plants for a little bit and ended up going to grab the stuff, come back, and I was talking to her about it. She's like, oh, you should go to Lowe's and get some plants. And so I'm like, all right, maybe I will. So we end up going later that night to go get some plants. And what was nice is they rolled out all the rest of the plants because they only had like 3 sections. And then when we went, it was like 8 sections. So it was like, and they have like tiny plants, medium size, large, and then like fucking gigantic. So I'm like, all right, well, they have the yucca plant, which is like this straight circular thing like this, and it goes straight up. It's just the trunk, and then at the top, it's almost like a palm tree, but it's not. And so I have one of those already, and I'm like, oh, I want one because they have. When I first looked, it looked like they had 2 in the pot. But they really had 3 in the pot, so it's like you get three for the price of 1 essentially. And they were big. Like the one that I got is like 5-6 feet high or something, which is phenomenal. And then I like the palm, like those plant palm or the house palms, because I love palm trees. So I bought the biggest motherfucker that they had, which was it's like 7 feet high, and I put it in my room. And so it's just like, this feels great. So I have like, I don't know, like 15 plants or something in the house now. And it's just like, it's good. It's nice. And I have most of my plants in the, my office where I'm doing a lot of work and editing and stuff. And it's just good for the creative mind.
Sure.
And so I'm on this plant kick, but now I want to get into like the whole salt lamps and stuff again, because like just to put a few more in the house for ambiance.
Okay. Yeah.
Now salt lamps, everybody know or thinks that they put like these ions, this I think it's the negative ion in the
I don't know.
air,
I just thought they looked cool.
And it's supposed to like make you feel good and like energy wise and all this stuff, which yes, it does. But they mislead you a lot in how they do it because you need a lot of salt in order to do that. Like your house needs to literally be made out of salt in order for that to like.
Well, it was the same thing with the plants. So I went on I did the same thing. I'm like, oh, I need to get a plant in my environment to break. Yeah. Well, I just was starting with one. So peace lilies are really easy to take care of. When the leaves start drooping, you just water them. They pop right back up. They don't need a lot of light.
Yeah.
And so I got a peace lily. And I got that because there is a list of plants that recycle different kinds of chemicals in the air that NASA came out with. But then upon further research, it's like you need to literally have a jungle worth of plants in your house before it does anything to filter your air.
That's what it is. And that's why they say it's like 100 square feet per plant.
But for mental health, though, very good for mental health.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I got I first got a couple because I enjoy them and I like just because it adds a nice little look into the house. And then I built my office to be a creative spot. And because it's necessary for that, I want to surround it or build it so it's inviting, it's warm, it's a place I want to be. I want to enjoy being there. And so I put a lot of plants in there. And it's just something that I don't know if I don't want to say it was like an addiction, but it's just like, all right, well, I have plants here, but I want to get plants elsewhere because it's nice. And it's like one of those things where it's like get back to nature type thing. And it's like, it's just nice to see, to feel, to be around. And yeah, it's like you get the plants and they're nice, but like I said, I mean, I like the salt lamps, and I like the lamps that they have, because it's a warm light, it's nice, it's unique, and no, unfortunately, you don't get these health benefits that they claim, because otherwise this whole area would have to be like a giant salt lamp in order for it to have any effect. And I mean, you'd need like thousands upon thousands of pounds for it to make effects.
Right.
But if you go to salt rooms that they have, which there's one that's not that far from
I think
here.
there was one in Williamsville.
I think in Williamsville, and I think there is one in Orchard Park.
Oh, okay, that might be.
And they're like, you walk into this place and they put in these chairs, like the foldable chairs, because you can't really put anything else in there because the salt will do some damage. But you can't walk, like the salt is all on the floor, it's all up along the walls and
It's in your
everything.
lungs.
And like when you go in there, that's going to have some sort of effect, because there's so much salt in that room.
Yeah.
Like it will have some sort of effect. But yeah, and then, some of it could be placebo, but like that's the type of salt you'd need in order for it to have some sort of an effect in the air around you. Just having like even 1 per 100 square feet of house would not do a damn thing.
Yeah.
Plants, on the other hand, they're different, but like it's just refreshing overall. Like not only just having it there, like you said, mood and energy. It's just a nice, it's a nice calming thing. You feel more at peace. You feel more reflective, and it's just nice.
So there's a woman on YouTube who, I think she lives in the Bronx, if I recall. She's converted her whole apartment. I think she's a botanist, and she knows everything there is to know about plants. And she converted her whole place that she lives in is like an indoor grow room, and it's crazy. She's got plants from head to toe, and she knows all of the names to each one of them, and this is blah 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 blah. Very intelligent, very knowledgeable. And I was watching her about what kind of plants that are good to grow inside. And it is very important in environment. I wonder if there's been studies where I would like to know, like, what is the best color to paint your rooms for mood? What is the is it open spaces, decorate? I know your environment is important. And the one thing that I hated about the house that I grew up in, my house is exactly like your house, but the decor is different.
Well,
it's all brown.
Style's a little bit different.
Well, for some reason in this stage, they thought everything should be brown. So the outside's
outside's
brown.
Probably the color that was in at the time.
Yeah. So the floor is brown, the walls are brown, it has that brown wood paneling, and it makes you feel like poop. I'm like, you get a poop mood from being in there. I'm a peacock. I need to fly. I just watched the other guys on TV. It's hilarious. But I'm really I need a positive environment. I need good colors. I need either pastels or...
Well, you're probably... I mean, warm
white,
colors itself is
warm,
probably going to be more... And then I mean, it's not just the color, but lighting as well. And things. It's just fill it with things that you enjoy. But not be careful on filling, because you don't want clutter and you don't want crap.
I'm a minimalist.
And that's the whole thing. Like being minimal, having it clean, it's so much nicer. Like decluttering everything and getting rid of a bunch of shit.
Oh, it's great.
So nice. Yeah. It's like your stress level goes from like way up here down to like,
for sure.
I feel fucking great. And then it's so much easier to like clean things because you don't have to move a bunch. Like, you know what's crazy is, you know what I find crazy? Did your grandmother have like a shot or like a, I don't know, what the fuck are those glass shell, like glass things that have
There's
like
a word for them.
Bunch. It's like an armoire or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck it actually is.
With the figurines?
Yeah, and you have all the figurines in there, and there's like 25 figurines on each shelf, and there's like 8 shelves, and it's like just filled with it. And there's, oh my God. Do you remember, did you have that or no?
Well, my family is unique to where both my grandpa...
It's either a yes or no.
I did not have one of those.
Oh,
but
okay.
I have to say this because my grandpa and my grandma on my mother's side, who are straight from Italy, They both came over on a boat from Italy and went through Ellis Island, came here, and then met each other and got married. My grandpa's had a very unique life where I believe that he was a reporter, I think, in the Army and was in World War II, I believe. Then he came back here and he actually helped design parts of the X-2 airplane that broke the sound barrier. So when I was a kid, he had all of these models, all of these.
Okay, so it might not be the figurines, but it's still some.
No, well,
some
he had
sort
all of
models.
these actual prototypes of these airplanes from. They didn't make the cut, but now I look back on it when I was a kid, like playing with all these airplanes. We had a whole box full of them, and I should have. If someone would have told me they were valuable, like these are collector's items that are prototypes for this airplane that broke the sound barrier. He was an awesome guy. My grandma was just an Italian woman. She could cook just like any Italian woman. Taught my mom how to cook. Very good Italian food. My grandmother, my father's mother, was a four-wheeler riding, hunting, fishing artist. Was like the most unique person that I know in my family. It was just awesome. So she did not collect figurines. She once got a ticket for having a loaded shotgun in her van when she was hunting, which you're not allowed to do. You have to be out of your van. So like she led also a very unique life and was a very interesting woman. So I have a bunch of her paintings. She's very unique. So
So in other words, the longest story is a
That's my
simple
family.
no.
Yeah, no.
No, you did not have the figurines.
Yeah.
But no, it's like I don't know. It just seems like that generation or maybe older. I don't know if they just collected stuff over the time. Because like that's the whole thing. Like you just keep collecting stuff. Like not on purpose. It's just something that happens. You buy one thing, you buy another, and they just kind of get cycled out, and instead of throwing them out or getting rid of them, they just sit there and collect dust.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like, did they purchase these items because it's like a collection thing, or that was the big thing
That's
to
what they
do?
liked, yeah.
And it's like, oh, we have a dinner party or something. Check out our new figurines that we have if you'd like. Oh, I saw that on the catalog for Sears and the 300-page catalog. What a beautiful piece.
Well, the last podcast, that's what I was talking about. Those little figurines. Now, when people pass away, those figurines go to this weird this weird place that I went to. Remember we were talking about the Nazi memorabilia? That I
you want to know the weird place
That's
that it
where
goes
all
to?
those little figurines go to, too.
I'm going to tell you where the weird figurine place go to when people pass away. Right in the goddamn garbage.
Well, they should.
Because nobody wants to fucking deal with that shit.
People come to those people's houses. They take all that stuff out and they take it to the flea market. And they have these little lots full of little figurines. And you can go pay for like, okay, there's like actually an industry for death figurines of people. That's where they all come from. I'm like, where the hell? It's so weird. That place was like Xanadu. It was so weird with all the Nazi memorabilia. But yeah, they have all those little figurines. So my first apartment, the girl who lived next to me, she would collect Eeyore figurines from Winnie the Pooh. Only Eeyore, though, not Winnie the Pooh. Just had all the sad donkey things, right?
Well, that sounds like her life is just a sad donkey.
Yeah.
Did she look like a donkey?
No, she was very attractive.
Huh.
Always bringing home dudes. Because it was very thin walls.
That would explain a lot of things why she... like, think about it. A very sad, depressed woman is going to find liberation in
dudes,
sex.
dudes, all they do.
And dudes, and more dudes.
You know what made me sad?
Dicks and dudes.
Yeah, I think I was 22. It was my first apartment here when I moved back. But what made me sad was there was this older couple, and they are probably in their 60s or at least 70s, or at least 60s, maybe 70s. They lived downstairs from me, and all day long they would be fucking. And they'd have the windows open. But no, it made me feel bad because I'm a 22-year-old dude. And these people...
You're probably just sitting there like this, like, oh,
no, definitely not.
Fuck.
So
please. Let's change hands. Let's go over under.
No. I would come home from work and the woman would be down there. Oh. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, these people are having 10 times more sex than I'm having at 22 years old. I was so upset. I hope I have that kind of relationship when I get older. But I was so jealous, like son of a
All
bitch.
I can
these
do
people.
is say I have that type of relationship.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yes, it is. It's very nice, especially after a long day of hardships and stress. And it's like, I just need to fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, boom, there's a pussy.
Yep, every day,
Yay.
all day long. That'd be great.
Yay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll work on it. But hey, it gave me hope that when I'm old, I could still have an active sex life. But I was so jealous. Like
Yes,
these
but-
people are doing
But
it 10
here's the
times more than
question.
me.
How long has it been for you?
It's been 84 years. I still haven't seen Titanic. I don't
is
like movies with a surprise ending.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because that's the old lady in Titanic apparently says. It's been 84 years. Something like that. I don't know. I watch...
Well, if you haven't watched it, how would you know that?
Because I watched this podcast called Things Might Get Weird with this woman named Grace and another woman named Mamery. And I really like them. They're
Mammary?
great. Yeah, Mamery.
Sounds like mammary.
Yes, I'm sure.
Mammary gland.
I'm sure you're the first person that's thought of that.
I'm sure.
Yeah. She's shocked
I'm
right
very-
now. How
I'm
come no
sure.
one else ever thought of that?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, and I like their podcast. Things Might Get Weird. And she always says it's been 84 years, referring to Titanic. So maybe someday I'll watch it. But again, I told you, I don't like movies with surprise endings.
I don't know how surprising of an ending that actually is.
That might be the joke, Seth.
Yes, but spoiler alert, if you didn't watch Titanic,
It sinks.
it sinks.
Oh, you ruined it for me.
Too bad, so sad. Life's a bitch. Get a helmet.
Yeah.
Clunk.
Yeah. People, man, life is such a...
Spoiler alert, Black Widow is... Oh, actually, real spoiler alert. Hopper from Stranger Things is not dead.
Oh, I don't watch that show.
He's actually in Russia
Okay.
and working on a train.
All right, that sounds right.
No, actually, Stranger Things is a really good show. If you haven't watched it yet, any of it, I highly suggest going and watching it. It's a very good show. And season 3 ended with this cliffhanger, if Hopper was dead or alive. And nope, Hopper's alive because they just Netflix just put out a trailer for
I did see
season
that.
4 teaser.
Yeah.
So it's like it shows him working on the highway, and the thing is though, they set it up completely so it was him. So like even though you knew, because they did this like teaser at the end of the of season 3, or like, well, we know, I mean, Netflix shows, they all come out at the same time, so you can watch the entire season in
It's
a day.
awesome. Yeah.
And so like right after it premiered for season 3, they did this teaser at the end where it was like this phone number and it was like this cryptic message, and it was actually on the actor's Twitter. So like every day it was like this different number all the way up until like you had the full number, so you could call it and it was like this teaser. So it was a pretty interesting thing, and it's like, oh well, that just kind of gave it that Hopper's still okay and alive. He's just in Russia,
Right.
and whatever he's doing. But here, so you know the Black Widow trailer, right?
No.
Okay, well, it shows him, but because he's a character in I forget what the fuck the name is right now. But he is in the movie, so like the trailer shows him escaping, or what looks to be like he's escaping a prison cell or a prison yard, and so he's just like and so I'm like, oh my God, it's Hopper and he's alive because this is Black Widow, and I'm like, oh, they're having a crossover event, but
Cool.
they're really not.
Yeah.
It's just ironic how that happened, because at the end of Stranger Things season 3, like it was a Russian base in the US, and they all escape and leave through this portal, and so Hopper is caught in with them. So at the very end, they show like Russia in a prison, and they have this demagogue, and they're going to feed it a person or something, or fight, and they're like, no, they're like, the American, no, don't get the American yet, or something like that. I don't remember, because it was I don't know, last year or something when it came out. So then they just had that teaser trailer, so they're probably going to release when it's going to come out next. So I'm hoping very soon. But it's going to be pretty interesting what season 4 is going to
Yeah, that'll
unleash.
be cool. Maybe I'll watch it someday. I've been watching the Ozark on there. You watch that?
No.
Oh, Jason Bateman. So the Ozark is good.
Speaking of Jason Bateman, he was in a movie called Horrible Bosses. And Horrible Bosses 2,
Yeah.
and We're the Millers.
Yeah.
And a very good actor. But
He's
the
great.
co-starring actress, Jennifer Aniston. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you, first of all, she's
We're the
fucking
Millers.
hot.
Yeah. We're the Millers is the one.
Oh, but did you see the photo shoot that she just did?
No.
Holy shit. Hold on.
Okay, so was it for GQ or something?
I don't know what magazine it was for, but hold on. You got to see
They want to
this
know
shit.
why one of the magazines that she was in, they want to know why she had such a weird, awkward pose or something. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Was it that awkward pose?
That's it. Yep. Let me see. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a
that's-
different photo shoot. Like,
yeah.
she's done, there's other pictures like
Yeah.
that.
The one that was on the cover. They're like,
That.
what? She's, yep.
Oh, hold on.
good.
On the cover.
Did you see J-Lo?
You talking about that one?
That's it. Yep. Let me
Yeah.
see.
So, yeah, that one, that's, damn.
Oh, for sure.
For, what is she, 50-51?
Did you see J-Lo? You like J-Lo, right?
J-Lo on what?
She just posted a picture
Super
of
Bowl?
her abs on Instagram.
On Instagram? No, I'm going to look this up right now,
Yeah.
though.
But still, Elizabeth Hurley, man.
You know, I don't know. I'm not really on that one.
Okay, what about this then?
What's her name? Jennifer Aniston?
Yep.
No, Jennifer.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. Those South Park episodes are hilarious.
With Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah.
Hello, I am Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. You give me kisses.
Is it J-Lo or is it Jennifer Lopez? It's got to be J-Lo because it's got the thingy.
So,
Oh, you're talking about that one?
yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say she looks timeless. That's 50 years old, dude. She looks...
Well, because she looks the same when she was fucking 25 to now. She's fucking gorgeous. Like, damn.
Well, see, that's why every human being is different because I never found her that attractive. But that is
She's
an
not,
amazing
but
woman.
I mean,
looks
I've
great
seen
for her
much
age.
better. Trust me, I've seen much better.
So-
but I got to tell you something. So,
Okay.
I like older women.
Okay, well, I
I
got something
always
for you.
have,
Yeah.
and it's. I don't care about Elizabeth Hurley.
No.
I'm telling you.
I was watching... I've been watching the police academies.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no. So I like older women. Like the first time I dated somebody older, I was 28, she was 42. So that's 14 years difference. It was funny because her daughter, it was closer in age than I was to her. And so, I mean, I dated older for for a few years straight. Like, I didn't date anybody younger than me. And I've always found older women to be attractive. I don't know why. I just
Oh,
have.
they're like a fine wine.
And, oh yeah, it gets better with age.
Yeah.
Trust me, it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, and then you see like J-Lo, she's 51 or 50 or whatever, and her boyfriend's like in his 20s, and I'm like, fuck, man, yeah, that's.
Well, I think
that's the
Madonna
shit.
did the same thing. She was
Oh,
dating...
there's quite a few people
Yeah.
that have.
Good for them.
There's quite a few that are too dating. So like, it's
sure.
not just, but it's like, hell yeah. Like if I had the chance to date like Jennifer Aniston or Jennifer Lopez or something,
Yeah.
I would be like, fuck yeah. But I mean, I don't give a shit about the notoriety or anything. Or
She's
like,
attractive.
but for fucking 50 years old,
Yeah.
god damn, you're
Yeah.
attractive.
I really like attractive women.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, obviously, but the whole thing is though, it comes down to like something else in terms of, they just know things. They're a little bit more in tune. They're not. It's not the bullshit that you have dating somebody that's younger, like whiny. Like if you're a 40-year-old guy dating an 18-year-old girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry, but it's like 18-year-old girls are whiny little cunts.
The actor from The Green Mile. Have you seen that movie, The Green Mile?
Tom Hanks?
No. The guy who plays
big black
Percy.
dude?
No, the guy who plays Percy, the bad guy.
Oh, the dude who's like, didn't he like go to jail for like cradle rot or I don't know?
He didn't go to jail, but somehow he
do?
married a 16-year-old girl.
Oh,
And now she's like 23. They're divorced now, of course. And she wrote a whole article about like I was a child, like I didn't know, you know.
mm-hmm.
And it is so creepy. And like I went when I went back to school, you know, at the age of 35, it was very weird to me because I met the 23-year-old girl in my math class who helped me. She was very intelligent in math, but she was not getting accounting. And I was killing it in accounting because I've been in the real world.
But you weren't getting into math.
Well, math, the algebra had been so long. I never took algebra.
Okay.
And it had been so long since I'd done any kind of serious math. Well, she knew they reinforced that in school. So she knew all of the formulas and this. But because I am in the real world and the job that I work in had to do with, you know, debits and credits and things, I understood more than, and I'd been in the real world. So she wasn't getting the debits and credits in accounting. And it was hard for me trying to learn all the formulas for algebra. She was very intelligent. She's 23 years old, had a 35-year-old boyfriend. I think her boyfriend was even older than me at the time, but very mature. But then I met the same age girl and she was like into anime and like, was a girl.
Well,
so the difference in maturity between one and the other
that's the whole
was
thing. There's a lot of difference between people.
And it was the same
in general,
thing with dudes.
But overall,
Yeah. No.
I just want to shoot myself in the fucking foot because that would be more entertaining than trying to hold a conversation, being like, especially on their phone. They're like,
I can't even.
Oh my god, hold on, let me get a little duck face.
Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah.
Some of them. Hold on, the angle's off. This isn't right. Hold on. Oh my god. Let me Photoshop this shit because my lips are looking a little too big. Let me fatten up my friends. Hold on.
That's what Joe Rogan was talking about. That his wife
perfect.
does.
Oh, look at that. and then you're gonna get a bunch of bullshit from their friends saying, "Oh my god, take that picture down. I don't like it." And it's like, shut the fuck up. You're doing it on purpose.
Joe Rogan was talking about how his wife's friends edit each other's pictures. They'll take a picture, post it. She's like, I'm just gonna make her nose a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That happens.
And these are women that are in their 50s.
But that happens because they're
make their chin a little bit bigger.
Well, those are the type of women that are, instead of being, you know, the mature style, they're being like, oh, let's be a little nitpickies and let's be a little. So they're probably the older women that I'd be shied away from and I would not be attracted to,
right?
Because they're playing those stupid fucking games. That's the probably the most annoying thing that people do is when they play those stupid ass games, and it's like, really, how old are we? Let's grow up a little bit. Right.
Well, I was always partial to blondes, so I was watching a Police Academy, and I had to. So that's the Callahan and Police Academy. And I was like,
what's her name? Leslie something?
Leslie Easterbrook.
Yeah.
That's the pool scene. That's very good. I recommend that.
Oh yeah, you see a little bit of nip.
Yeah. Well then I had to look it up, and that's the best that I could find.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But they look real and they look spectacular.
The real question is, why do they say pussy vids when it's her standing in somewhere in lingerie with her tits popping out?
Yeah.
Actually, you know Beverly D'Angelo?
No, who's that?
She was the one who played Sparky's wife in Chevy Chase in Vacation.
Oh, love her. Yeah, love her.
Well, I think it's in Christmas Vacation, they're laying in bed, and like even on TV, because you can't really know, but you can because it was like sheer lingerie, so you can actually see some nipple through the lingerie that she's wearing in that movie.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah. It's just that whole movie's hilarious. They're so great. I love comedy. See, that's why I don't know if I could get into the Stranger Things, because I love comedy. I just love the police academies, the Naked Guns, the airplanes.
But
I love
the thing
them.
is, it's the writing and
it good?
the hooks and everything that make it good.
I'll check it
So
out.
like that's the whole thing. Like they do this amazing thing in Hollywood right now, and it's been for a while. But what they do is they'll have the episode, and then at the very end, that last few scenes is the hook that they make for you to continue watching, either binge watching on Netflix and watch a whole season in a day, or they'll hook you for the next episode, which would occur next week.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what it is.
Yeah, tune in next time to find out who shot JR.
Yeah, but they used to always do the hooks at the season finales.
Oh yeah, now they have to do it.
And
at
then
the
now
episode.
they do it on episodes because they want you to continue watching, because some of the shows they only maybe do 12 episodes a year.
Right.
And it's not like a normal sitcom or a half-hour show that would be on like 247 or ABC, NBC, or CBS, like the normal networks. So it's like so much different. So they get you on these hooks, like like Walking Dead. So that's like a perfect example.
Right.
After every episode, they have some sort of hook at the very end to be like, oh my God, what the fuck's going to happen?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit. And then you got to go on. And then they have Talking Dead. So you go on and be like, oh my God, did you just watch this episode? Can you believe what's about to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And then they have like 3 people on. And they're like, oh, I know exactly what it is because I'm a fucking actor and actress in the show. So, but I can't tell you exactly.
Yeah.
But so and then they completely change it. And it's like, well, what the fuck
I
is going
think
to happen?
that's the
Just show
new
me.
thing that happened. I don't remember shows about shows. Did they ever do that before, where they're like they had Talking Bad? They have the
I mean, some. I think that's more of an AMC thing
yeah.
because they do that, and why not?
Yeah.
I mean, it's their programming, and then it's just them promoting another show, and they probably
yeah.
don't have to pay certain rights to the to
I
show
don't-
another one or a movie or
I
anything.
don't remember shows where they talk about the other show before. That's a good idea, but I don't remember that's new. But so Netflix, I'm watching a series called Peaky Blinders, which I kept skipping over because I thought it was like a Downtown Abbey type show, like Peaky Blinders. Ooh.
Why don't you start watching You?
What's that one?
I don't know. It's like the big thing that everybody's talking about.
All right.
I haven't watched it. My girlfriend watched it, and I'm just like, I don't care.
Well,
it's about some serial killer. Why do women like?
I don't know
all
why.
those fucking killer shows.
They
like,
love it.
It's all like that's all Lifetime
They
is.
love being
It's
scared.
like no, I don't know if it's scared, but it's like the husband like beats the wife, and you gotta like
My lumberjack husband came home and beat me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like enough.
And she disappeared.
There you go. Enough with Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
Where she was abused and then she took like Krav Maga and beat the shit out of him and I think ended up killing him or
No,
something.
my friend.
And it's like, why do they like, what's the obsession with that? Is it because normally you're weak and powerless compared to a guy? And I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything.
No, that's true.
But it's biology. Like women are not as strong as men.
I completely forgot. So men will do a lot of things for women. I've seen, men will
Like
do a lot of
become
things.
male feminists.
Yeah, or go to a 12-step program, right?
Oh,
So,
gee.
yeah.
Who are we talking about?
Yeah, it couldn't be this guy. So anyway, I go to this 12-step program, and I went to a new one with a
So
coworker
you're not
of mine.
in the codependent one?
No. Well, I
Okay,
still
which-
go to that one on Tuesdays.
Which is the new one?
The new one I went to is a subsidiary of Alcoholics Anonymous, which I didn't know.
Why would you need that?
I don't.
So
But I didn't know that that's what it was. So if a coworker, she was, I casually mentioned at work, I had to leave or work at 7:00 on Tuesdays instead of working till 8 because I have a meeting to go to.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I said. I have a meeting. And this coworker of mine who I barely know came up to me the next day and said, "You said you had a meeting to go to." I'm like, yeah. She's like, do you go to a 12-step? I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you in AA? And I'm like, no, I go to a similar one like that. And she's like, I go to AA. I've been going for 6 years. I'm like, really? And I'm like, well, tell me about it. She wanted to talk about the 12-step. So
I go to SA,
what's that?
sex Anonymous or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, well, I hear that's a good place
Sex
to pick up women.
Yeah.
I might start going there.
It's pretty easy.
I told you, when I get lonely enough, I'm either going to that or I'm going to the strip club in Canada where the women come out.
they actually might legalize prostitution in New York.
Really?
Yeah. So you might
I'm
be
never
lucky.
going to pay for it.
Why? What's the matter?
I'm
If you're
just
not
not
getting
gonna-
any,
Yeah.
and it's
Just
been,
not that
and it's
important to
been
me.
several years.
I had trouble
You need
gambling
to.
$5. I am not going to spend money. I'll spend money on women the old-fashioned
You spend
prostitute
money on
way,
Chipotle.
where I take them out to eat and do it that way. Prostitution that way. Prostitution by proxy is what I'll do. It's probably easier just to hand them money, right?
Why? Yeah, but then
Okay.
at least get your dick wet or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Jeez,
I'm too busy reading books about astronauts.
boring. Stick your dick in something.
All right, I'm working on it.
You have homework to do.
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay, sure.
I am. No, I really am. So,
What? Okay, since I gave you this homework like a long time ago to do.
Well, I moved.
Okay, what's that gonna do?
Well, that's what I've been busy doing. But now,
Yeah, but from when I gave you that homework, which was like a year ago,
yeah,
to now, moving consisted of about 2 weeks.
Yeah, for
out
sure.
of 52.
Yeah.
So what about the other 50 weeks that you had? So instead
Well,
of
I just had other things
365
going
days,
on.
it's 351 days.
I just had other stuff going on. Mm-hmm. I was watching that PBS guy that we watched that talks about the
Boring.
universe. I like it.
Yeah, that's 10 minutes a week.
Yeah, that's true.
So what are you doing for the
I'm
other?
going to the 12 step and working.
That's an hour.
Yeah, that's true. Well, anyway.
You're not going to win this argument.
Also a different coworker at my work said that they'll help me with my profile online. Apparently that's a thing that people go and do online.
Well, first of all, if you're going to do a profile online, yes, have a woman
For
set
sure.
it up,
Yeah, for sure.
because they're going to be able to tell you what
Yeah.
they like
Yeah.
and don't like,
Yeah, for sure.
and set it up for you. But just make sure that they're actually genuine about it, because sometimes they can be like little backstabbing
Oh
whores.
yeah, of course.
And then try to like fuck you.
Yeah, no, that's it's,
Not literally,
yeah.
but like
no, they want to hoodwink you. They want to foist you. They want to bamboozle you to where you look like a fool because
Yeah.
they don't want you to win. I get it. So anyway, I met this young lady who she took me to a 12-step because she's having problems with her husband, and her sponsor in NA said that she might be codependent and wanted to know. Once I had mentioned that I go to this 12-step program called Codependency Anonymous, which I'm a firm believer that anyone could benefit from. Whitney Cummings is a comedian that goes to the same thing. And I think anyone could benefit from it. It's not like I need to quit drinking or, I need help. It's just learning how to be a better person in general, really. So I start telling her about what the program is, and she thinks like it will help her with her issues that she's having with her husband and wants to go. Well, she goes to her own group. So she wanted to go to her own codependence meeting and couldn't go to the one that I go to on Tuesdays. So
Well,
she takes me to her own one on Thursday.
if it sounds funny because she's like, I want to go on my own. It doesn't sound like she's codependent.
No,
I want to do my own.
No, she didn't want to go on her own. She wanted to go to her own meeting because she'd
know.
already been to that thing.
I'm just messing.
Yeah, couldn't go on Thursday, or on Tuesday. But anyway, I get what you're saying. So we go there, and it is not a codependent 12-step meeting. It is I think it was called emotional sobriety, which it's a secondary group for people who are in AA or NA to learn other skills like how to deal with emotions and things like that.
Like
right?
how to have good sex.
Probably.
And become a sex addict.
Yeah, that's definitely it. They show you how the penis goes into the vagina. It's very graphic. That's all we did. No.
Now, all I know is some people do suffer from sexual addiction.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it's ruining relationships and things like that, yeah, we're making jokes right now.
Yeah.
But it can be a serious thing
There's
for
a
some people.
person in my group who
But
goes to that support.
Let me
group.
tell you, I have a lot of sex. I'm a sex addict. I don't care, but it's not ruining my relationships because I'm not trying to go out and fuck everything.
Well, remind me to talk
I'm
about
enjoying
that.
fucking my
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Well, remind me to talk about that in just one moment.
What?
because there is a person in my group who goes to that support group for addiction.
Her or him?
It's a guy.
Oh, well, I don't want to hear that story then.
Well,
it's
yeah.
depressing. I thought you were
Okay.
talking about a woman. Then I'd be like, oh, okay, well, let's hear.
Yeah. So then we go to the group and it's all women except for the reason I'm bringing it up, I want to see what you think. It's
So
all
you're
women.
dependent on my answer?
Well, I felt very awkward because there was a guy there, and I have to be very careful. This is the society that we live in these days. I noticed that the man, I could see stubble and blonde hair, and there was no makeup or anything, but I'm okay. And then he said his name was Paul. And then he said that one of his relatives had died. It had been a rough week. I'm like, okay. And then he said that he was having a hard time around his family because he wanted to be L. L was his name for his female.
Counterpart.
Yeah. And he said that his husband was very supportive of him just being who he is around his family, but that he had to tone L down. I'm like, okay, there's a gay man and whatever.
I think I would call that transsexual.
Well, that's why I'm having this discussion. So afterwards, I only heard the name Paul. I didn't hear, he must have like briefly glanced over or didn't mention this alter ego named L. And then once we were at a restaurant after the meeting, I didn't know that this man was gay until he said that he was married. He said his husband. Well, then I said, well, one of the girls at the meeting corrected me and said, she. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, her name is L, and was very rude to me. And I'm like, okay,
I
well,
would have been like, shut the fuck up, you dirty cunt.
well, that's the whole thing.
Like,
so
shit like that pisses me off. It's like,
Yeah.
really? You gotta be that you gotta be that
right.
person?
Like, okay. And it wasn't that rude, but it was like, she, like I referred to this man who is a biological man. You have stubble. And
Yeah.
at first I'm like, okay, you're gay. Cool. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But to be talked down on because that person identifies as a woman, I didn't know. How am I to know? Is that what we're supposed to do these days? Is feel offended and embarrassed because we're not calling people who blatantly look like men that want to be called a
can't
female?
You can't assume.
That's what the problem is.
You can't do
I
it.
assumed the gender. But I'm like,
Well,
no.
because you're right.
Yeah,
Let's face
you
it,
are a
you're
physical
right.
man. Now, you may feel like a woman emotionally, great. I'll call you L all you want. But I'm not going to feel embarrassed because I
You
said,
should, or should you?
yeah.
You should
But I
tell-
don't
you should
think it's
tell
right that people want to be condescending to you. She, her.
No, you should go tell that person who said that to fuck themselves because that's exactly what it would be.
Well, it was explained to me that that's just her, like that's her attitude, and ignore it, and maybe we'll get along. But I just don't want to live in an environment where, people make mistakes, and how am I to know a person that I never met who said his name was Paul in the meeting that we were at?
Mm-hmm.
Who, what the hell, Or I think his name was Dave. I forget what his name was, but anyway.
You said Paul.
Okay, we'll say
So-
Dave, maybe Steve.
I'm gonna go with Paul.
Okay.
Because that's what.
I
that's
think he
what you
said his name
originally
was
said.
Steve.
No, Steve.
Dave.
Steven was the guy
Steven-
who walks
Steven!
3 feet behind.
Steven, 3 feet behind me, Steven. Steven,
So-
eat my pussy, Steven.
Ew, it's probably all wanky and shit.
That's
And
exactly-
It probably
that's
wasn't
exactly it.
shaven in like,
No,
Ever?
Jungle Bush.
and you probably
down
down there,
there.
and you probably get lost in it a little
Yeah,
bit.
that's
and it's like,
exactly
what the
it.
fuck? No,
Hasn't
and
been
it's
washed
probably,
in 4
yeah,
days.
I was gonna say it's probably got like little pieces of corn kernels. And
That's
shit.
exactly it. Then
And
now,
then like a Cheeto or two.
now you're picking up what's hilarious about Steven. Get down there, Steven. 3 feet behind me, Steven.
It puts the lotion on its skin, Steven.
That's exactly
It
it.
puts the lotion on its skin.
so funny.
And then she probably like attaches like little electric nodes to his balls.
Yeah,
like,
they did
if
her.
you step out of line, Steven, I got this little button right here on an app. It's gonna go bzzz, and your balls are gonna go bzzz, and you're gonna feel it,
Yeah.
Steven.
That's what they love. That's hilarious. But good for them. That's the joke about it. Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Hey, whatever people like. I don't judge. I just don't want to be like, I don't want to feel stupid if I don't know who someone I identifies as. You know, it's the craziest thing. So that's my Adventure Time story for the week. I didn't know that just you can't judge a person by the way they look, and you have to just automatically assume how they identify themselves as an attack helicopter. Who the hell knew? But I think people just need to ease up a little bit, and you know, people make mistakes, and I don't even think I made a mistake, because how was I to know that this person, you know, identifies as a female? Good for them, but you know, you have to go based on the way that they present themselves. So if I'm presented with a person who, you know, appeared to be a man who also could have been gay, and I wasn't even sure whether he, or I should say she now, was gay, I don't understand why it's a big deal. So what? I called the person by him instead of her. You know, don't jump down my throat about it. I kind of get it, because people have assumed my nationality when I'm Italian, but you know, let's all just get over it. Did you just assume my nationality?
I really don't care.
Okay. Good. That's the correct answer. So that's my 12. That was my 12 step. It wasn't even a 12 step. It was a different meeting.
Tell me about the person who goes to Sex Anonymous, because I want to hear about this.
So,
I like that. I can relate.
Well, it's a fine line. So
why is it a fine line?
I read an article a long time ago about a guy whose his wife caught him watching pornographic material on the internet.
So who gives a fuck?
Well, that was very offensive. So she put a child lock on the computer to lock him out of the adult things, but he found a way around that, and she was very upset. And then they were in counseling and going to a therapist to cure him of this urge he had to watch women on the internet have sexual intercourse. Mm-hmm. Because she is supposed to be all that he needs and wants and everything, which I get if you're married and from a female perspective.
Well, she better be putting out.
It's the same circumstance with the couple that is in my the 12 step. So if you're in a relationship with someone who does not agree with you watching adult material on the internet, then to save your marriage, you go to a support group, and you go to Sexaholics Anonymous meetings and support groups. Mm-hmm. And then you try to cure yourself of the urge to watch adult material on the internet while you're because your spouse does not like it.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem with that whole thing is that guys and girls think about sex in a whole different way. Mm-hmm. I can't speak because on a girl's side because, well, I'm not a girl, but I can speak as a guy because I'm a guy. Mm-hmm. And dude, if you have testosterone, you have a penis, you want to stick it in shit. You want to relieve yourself or something. You want to watch porn. And she needs to be more understanding of his needs. That's what I think it needs to come down to. Uh-huh. She needs to be more understanding of his needs. So if she's not sucking dick, if she's not taking it in the ass or just having sex, then he needs a release somewhere. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't love her or anything like that. It just means he's horny and you need to fuck him.
No, well, see, by watching these other women, it does mean that he doesn't love her. That's the whole thing.
And that's the whole thing. It's not true. Yeah. Like, I watch porn and I still love my girl. Yeah. And I fuck her all the time and I enjoy it. Yeah. But, I actually, speaking of porn, I got to say, some of the porn today, it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't care. I don't need to see step brother and sister.
Yeah, it's because of Game of Thrones.
I don't need to see all that.
No, I'm with
you.
There's
no reason for that.
I get it. Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
I'm with you.
Just get the good shit. Give me like the delivery guy coming over to pack your wife. Yeah. And I don't want to see cuckolding either.
What is that?
Like where a dude will fuck a girl in front of the husband.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to see two dudes. Sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
I enjoy one. that's fine because I like pussy itself is plain and boring. But pussy with a dick entering, that's better. Pussy with or a dildo or something, that's good too. Couple pussies, yeah, not too bad either. So like, but no, anything, it's just weird. A dude watching, it's like, really? I don't want to watch that shit. I don't get off on that. No. But here's the other thing. I choose what I want to watch and don't watch.
Well, that's the great thing about living in a free society. Mm-hmm. But the thing, yeah, I'm with you with the incest fad because because of Game of Thrones made it popular. I don't care for it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing is that first, a friend of mine was talking about how it's becoming more prevalent that women are cheating on men these days. I'm like, well, no, like maybe there's ups and downs in society, but human beings have been the same forever.
Yeah, it's just like, how we get our information has changed.
Yeah.
So like all these things that are saying, oh, well, now this and this and that. No, it's not really any different than what it used to be. It's just what you have access to in terms of information. Right. Like before phones came around, the only type of things you had was the newspaper, the radio, TV. And before that stuff, you had newspaper. And before that stuff, you had carriers and shit. So
and cultures do change. Like they're,
oh yeah.
I mean, look at 100 years ago, cultures do change, but over time, like there's generally, women cheat, men cheat, but we're still all human beings. Clothes change, ideologies change, technology change, but human beings generally have not changed. So when he's like, oh yeah, like more women are cheating on men these days than men cheating on women, like, no, that's not true. Like, where are you getting your information from?
Not only that, but one of the big problems is that it became so prevalent on TV shows and just part of like commonality there. That was like, oh, okay, it's no big deal. Yeah. But yet to a lot of people, that is a big deal. Like, don't be doing that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's the problem too is that a lot of people who are dating now because of things like Tinder or Bumble or any of the internet apps or anything like that, you can swipe left, swipe right, you match, and you can match with 15 people and start talking to them. And then, one day you'll be talking to this person and have a really great conversation, and then they just ghost you, or you get or you ghost them because you're talking to somebody else.
Right.
And it's this like weird thing. And then like when it comes, internet dating is like you're dating somebody literally on the internet. It could be anybody. And then you say, hey, let's get together. And then it's like, it's so weird. And
so
it's like,
weird. You know what?
But then when you meet, it's like, all right, your place or mine. It's like, well,
see,
where are we closer to?
Do you remember IRQ? It was around when America Online was out, just coming out. It was like an instant messenger type of like a thing. Like, okay, so it was the same thing as like an instant messenger on America Online type thing.
Which is AIM.
Yeah. So remember AIM, right? Well, IRQ was the same thing, right? This is probably 1997 or 98 or something. I can't even remember. Maybe even 96. I met a girl on the internet that's talking to her, decided to meet her at Denny's, right? And she was just busted, right? I think she was so dirty she had dust in her hair.
Oh.
Yeah. So I went in there, and she actually, no, she had she didn't have dust in her hair, but she had.
That's what we call that dander.
Yeah. Do you remember?
It's a little bit different. She needs some head and shoulders.
Do you remember the Golden Girls?
Yeah.
Do you remember the oldest Golden Girl who had her hair? She had like the old woman white hair.
Betty White.
No, the oldest woman.
Betty
mom.
White.
No, the mom.
You do realize that she was not the oldest woman on that show, right? The daughter who played like the mother-daughter combo, the daughter was older than the grandmother. You know that, right?
Well, I'm not a huge Golden Girls fan.
I'm not either, but that was the irony behind it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I think the oldest one on there wasn't Betty White. Wasn't she part of that? Yeah, she was part of that show, right? I don't even remember. I mean, we're going back like, 40 years?
Yeah. That's right.
Fuck, man. I don't know. Holy shit. Actually,
Well, anyway, so this woman had like this girl I met had an old woman's hairdo. She had the oldest, I don't know who it was, the woman on the Golden Girls. She had that kind of hairdo. And I took like so I had a bad experience with online dating right off the jump.
yeah, but that's because it was like in its extreme
For sure.
infancy, where it was like you literally didn't know what they looked like because.
Yeah, there was no
It could be anybody, and there were there were no pictures.
You're talking to someone.
You had
in
a
chat room.
profile,
Yeah.
and it was text.
Yeah, and you had to meet someone in a public place like Denny's, and then you had to scope them out and make sure that they're not a dude.
Yeah.
It was a woman, but she definitely wasn't my type. So I had a bad experience right off the get go, and for 20 years I didn't do any
Yeah,
dating
but you
on the internet.
you can't use that anymore.
Not
Trust me.
anymore.
I've done the online dating thing for quite a while when I was like single. Like if I was in a relationship, I'd be on there and I'd be like all over it. And I was probably the common person where you're talking to like 5, 10 or more people at a time, and you could literally go out with a new person every single night. And I don't know, it's just weird. It's different because it opens up the pool of possibilities so much greater, because normally if you didn't have that type of outlet, you would only be able to come in contact with people you might see at the bar or the grocery store or church or wherever you're going. And so you had close quarters that way. But then with these apps, it expands it to a whole different type of person and a whole different group of
Your
people.
exposure is definitely a lot bigger.
So yeah, and but the thing is, it's so easy to swipe next. It makes people think that other people are a commodity versus building a true relationship, and that's the whole thing. Like building but sex and relationships are two different things. But when you want to build a relationship with somebody, it takes time and it takes effort, and there's going to be good and bad about it, but it takes a lot of time. And even when you're in a relationship, you still have to continue understanding and knowing that other person, because we're not the same people we were. Even last year to now, we're not the same. And a couple of years ago, even yesterday, something could happen where it can change you and something can be different.
Yep.
And you might not realize that or think that. And that's one of the big problems, is that nobody takes that time anymore. It's like, oh, we hit a little hiccup. I can't handle that. I'm sorry. I have to move on.
Well, that's what I do.
It's like, really?
Yeah, that's why I like single for so long, because as soon as one thing, there's a lot of Seinfeld episodes about this. She had man hands. There's a lot of reasons, but
but see, here's the other thing. Jerry was still dating.
Yeah.
Like he'd have every couple of episodes, he'd have a new girlfriend. So
That's
it's
true.
like you just shut the door completely for whatever
for the past
reason.
year. Well, I've been
For
doing
the past year.
Yeah, I've been doing personal growth. I met a lot of women, but the past year. Well, I mean, we can jump right into it if you really want to get into it. So, I'll show you this picture.
Wait, jump into what?
Well, so we were looking
Your
at
dating history, or
we were looking at
your
Major
profile?
Callahan from the police academy, right?
Okay.
So I met a real life woman who was blonde like her, and I caught feelings, but no matter what I did, I would never be big enough, strong enough, rich enough, tall enough,
that's 'cause
handsome enough.
You have a self-esteem issue that you need to work
No,
through.
it's you have to live in reality. And to her, no matter what I did, she would never be interested in me. That's fine.
You don't know that, though.
Well, that's what happened. So over the course of a 5-year, friendship,
Woo.
then I caught feelings, but it didn't matter. And I get it, because there's a lot of girls that I'm not interested in, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a horrible position to be in, where the person that you want love and affection from will never even consider it, and no matter what you do, will never be that person, right? I never had those feelings before. Mm-hmm. It's a new feeling to me, and my whole life.
Yeah, I mean, having the reciprocated feelings is one thing, but forming feelings for another is different. And yeah, there's a big problem when you have.
I've never felt not good enough before in my life, right? and I was
Okay.
38 years old.
I got
I'm like, I've been rejected, sure, but the ego is like, well, the fuck you, But no one had ever made me feel not good enough. Now, I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast with Bill Maher.
Okay.
Bill Maher said something really great about love, and I learned a new definition of love. Also, love is when you generally want that person to be healthy and happy, whether you're in their life or not. And that's what Bill Maher said on Joe Rogan's podcast. He said,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When they
love
were
is,
doing,
love is, I just want you to be happy.
Selfless.
And if you're happier with me not in your life, I love you. That's fine. Go, whatever you want. That's real love. Before that, I had, when you meet someone, I'd always say, oh, I can imagine dating this person, or I can imagine our life together, or this would be great doing this. So we're going to, whatever your fantasy is, right? But that's not love. And this person, all I cared about was that she was healthy and happy in whatever she was doing. I just wanted her to be happy. That was real love, right? And I learned a new definition of love, but I also, I realized, it came to the realization that it didn't matter what I did. That person was never going to be interested in me. And I was just in a life-changing part of my life where, I was going to school, stressed out from that. And, I'm getting older. It's like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life type thing? And
Speaking of life-changing things,
Yeah.
we still need to go to the fucking float tank.
Yeah, I
And
was
then
thinking
I
about that
think,
yesterday.
I think I was too. That's why I'm in that's why the simulation is on me, because I was thinking about it and then it made you think about it.
no, I was thinking about it, and then you thought about it.
And then I think need to go to one of those salt caverns.
I'm down with
and
that
try
too.
it out,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I want to try it. Like I don't know. It's weird because every time I see pictures of it, I have this like certain feeling that I get. I don't know if it's an accurate feeling or not, and I think it's pretty accurate. And I don't mean like a feeling like inside feeling. I mean like how it would feel to actually go in there and what it would feel like being in there in the salt room and understand it, like seeing how it might work.
Right. Well, we'll go on that adventure for sure.
Fuck yeah.
So long story short, once I got to that place in my life, that's when I started to really change. And when you're talking about people being different a year ago, well, I had went, since my 20s to my 30s, you learn and grow, but I never really took like a good hard look. Like, okay, that's why I've shut myself off for the past year, because I had met all these women over and over again, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work out.
Sign up for Tinder. Sign up for.
I did
Planet
that when
or
I
Bumble.
was.
I did that when I was. Are you doing
between
it now?
the age of 30 and 35? And then
that's
I
the
went to
thing.
school. I met women at school. I met hundreds of thousands of women in my life, but I realized that
But
about
did
a year
you
ago.
actually have any sort of relationship built with those women?
Yeah, but
in
it just
any
doesn't.
way?
It wasn't lasting or working out. So then I'm like, okay,
Yeah, you just got to keep going until you find one,
all right.
and then you got to pound. You got to pound. That's the thing. You got to pound through the numbers.
Okay. Well, eventually, once that doesn't work, then you have to go, okay, well, what am I doing? It must be me.
Well, I mean, yeah, you
So
have.
that's what I'm doing. I'm
you
working
have
on myself.
self-reflection. I get that. There's nothing wrong with that, but the problem is you can't shut yourself off, because you're going to continue growing whether you find somebody or not.
Yeah.
I want to be at a certain point in something, whatever. But the thing is, that's not how life works. Life throws you a curveball here. Life throws you on your ass there. And you have to be able to not only accommodate it, but evolve with it and then reflect on it. And it's an ongoing thing. Like, we're not static. Like, you're not going to reach a certain rung in the ladder and be like, oh, I'm here. I've made it. It doesn't work like that.
For sure.
Like I say, you got to continue working on yourself throughout. And yeah, I get you want to take time to be a certain to be reflected on enough where it makes sense to you. I get that, but you can't shut it down and say, look, I'm not open to it, because then if you're not open to it, it's never going to come. It's never going to happen. And if it's something that you want or something that you are looking for.
Well, I don't right now. So that's the whole thing, right? So before you can, I heard another podcast I was listening to
You listen to a lot of podcasts.
Oh, that's great. I watch all the shows. Listen, dude, my works. You watch a lot of movies.
You are such a white guy.
Yeah, I listen. Thanks. That makes me feel really great because I watch all the movies, all the shows. I'm really glad to hear that. On a podcast, like we're always looking for someone else to complete us or fulfill our needs, etc. Well, these women on Joe Rogan's podcast said, "Well, what do you have to offer, right? Like, what's so special about you?" You know, so be that person for someone else. Be what completes them instead of looking for someone who's, completing you. So I really have to work on myself so that I have something to offer another person, which I didn't have anything to offer. I thought. I mean, I do have good qualities. I don't have the lowest self-esteem ever. In fact, I had very high self-esteem, but it just wasn't working. Whatever I was doing was not working.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So that happened. It made you not feel good enough.
Yeah.
But the problem is, there's a couple of ways you could handle and deal with that. Like, you could actually have shut yourself off like you did. You could have just done self-reflection and been like, okay, what's going on? And then work with that as you're growing.
Right.
But then also go out in the world and you're a science guy.
Yeah.
You have to test your hypothesis and you have to test your theory in order to see what's right or wrong. Because if you don't test that, you don't know if you've made gain or not when it comes down to it.
So that not feeling good and not feeling good enough was a catalyst. And what it actually did was make me go to the gym and I'm like, well, I'm going to get super big and then I'm going to do even better in school and I'm going to graduate and then I'm going to get a job where I make a lot of money. I'll be really strong. I'm in a really nice car and I'm going to be buff. And those are qualities that women want. And then I may not be good enough for you, but I'm going to be good enough for someone. That's what the catalyst was.
You know what you need? You need Hitch.
What's Hitch?
You never, out of all the shit that you've seen and all the shit that you watch, you've never seen the movie Hitch?
I might have. Let me Google
with Will Smith, and he hooks women or he hooks people up, and he's like at the very beginning of the movie, like the whole setup and the whole premise of it is like you need to, or people want to meet each other, they just don't have the right way of meeting. So he's like creating the opportunity for that person to meet the other person.
Yeah.
Either they find attractive or whatever it is. It's just giving them that ability. But what's funny about that movie is, and I don't know if the writers thought of it this way or not, or if it's just maybe my interpretation, but it's funny because he was the matchmaker, right? And so he would match all these people up with other people and create this opportunity for them to meet and then kind of like guide them through either confidence or whatever it is. But so that's all in the movie, but the kind of like the underlying, and I don't know if this is just my interpretation or this is what they had in it or thought about it in any way, but if you take that pressure off of an individual and they're kind of like following what a leader is saying for them to do and playing like follow leader, it takes that pressure off and it builds the confidence because it's like, oh, we're doing it this way and this is what'll happen. And so it's kind of like the like this thing where because it takes the pressure off that individual who may have been scared to go up to that woman, whether it was man or woman or whatever, whoever it might have been, and to try to initiate that first interaction or take that step, it kind of, like I said, it takes that pressure off, it takes that stress off, it doesn't let you think about it and then get in your own way. Like it's like you're going to do this whether you want to or not, and you just kind of succumb to it, and boom, there you are. You know what I mean? Does that? I don't know if I explained that well enough.
Yeah, you did. I get it.
Okay.
But for me, like at this point in my life, I just have to have resources and things to offer, right? So it's like, what am I as a person?
What did Kevin Federline have to offer Britney Spears?
Well, they were both young, right?
Don't matter if they were young or not.
Yeah. Well, that makes a big difference. So like,
don't matter. What did he have to offer her?
He probably is good at slinging that dick.
Maybe, but I mean, seriously, he was a nobody. He was a dancer.
Yeah,
that's
but
all
you
he
probably
was.
like watching him flex his muscles all day, and proximity. But also, they were young. And are they still married?
No, that's the thing, though.
see,
It's like
yeah.
certain people
I'm already
have,
out that.
but that's the thing. Certain people have nothing to offer somebody,
Right.
but yet they still have a relation, or they're still with somebody, or they're,
they're
able
not.
to
They
find
got
somebody.
divorced.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
They have the ability, and people in general have the ability, even though they might have nothing to offer in
Yeah.
terms of materialistic things or something like that.
Well, it's not about that.
And
So-
that's the whole thing. It's
yeah.
not just that. It's also, are they happy around you? Do they feel good around you? Do they make you? Do you make them feel excited or genuine, or let
Right.
them be themselves, or whatever? Like, that's how you can be there for somebody. That's
Yeah.
what you can offer. You can offer somebody the ability to be themselves.
Yeah.
You can offer them somebody to be a confidant.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do that. So that's why I go to the 12-step program, and I do a lot of other things. But my life was just, it was just in disarray.
It was too cluttered.
Yeah, it
So
was
you
definitely too
needed
cluttered.
to declutter and get the crap out.
I really did. I did. I really
You need to
did.
get all those damn figurines out.
Yeah, I sure did. We got rid of all the little stupid figurines, which is interesting that I wanted to go back to, you talk about women with their wife beater movies. I don't know why they love watching those on Lifetime, but also a lot of women love the horror movies. Like, this woman that I'm talking about that I caught feelings for, she was obsessed with Jason, right?
Okay.
And she had all the little Jason figurines and loved the Jason movies. And I think they just like that kind of being scared. I never understood why women like the horror movies so much. They love them.
I don't know. I think it's because it like excites them in a way, and then they like dig in. Dude, I can't watch them. Like those fucking stupid ass horror
Well, the
movies
cheesy
anymore.
ones, no.
No, I mean, like, I was.
Did you ever watch Hellraiser?
No, yeah, I've probably seen a bunch of them, and then there's a lot I just don't watch because I fall asleep in them. They're so boring to me.
Gotcha.
Like Saw, one of the Saws I went to, and like everybody's like, "Oh my god, we're so excited to go see this," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'm only going to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't really give a fuck about this movie. I'll probably fall asleep."
The first one I
And-
give them credit because I was like, holy shit. Sorry.
Yeah, but hold on. And sure as shit, I fall asleep during it. And the other, like, the girl that was sitting next to me, she's like tapping me and like grabbing me and like I'm like in and out of like being awake and sleeping. But the thing is, there's like, to me, it's so predictable and then so much bullshit that I just have no interest in watching it. I just lose complete interest. And it's like, well, I'm in a movie theater. What am I going to do? I'm either going to continue being bored out of my fucking mind or I'm going to fall asleep. So I choose to fall asleep. And I mean, but that's the thing. There's like, I don't care about horror movies because it's just extreme bullshit.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
thrillers I like because like the psychological thrillers
Yeah.
and like Shutter Island with Leonardo DiCaprio
That was
really
okay.
good. Even though I mean I knew what was going on, I knew the
Yeah.
ending. I thought that same thing with The Sixth Sense. Like I
Yeah.
knew he was dead. Like there were so many signs that showed that during the movie. Like it did not. I just didn't have that. Oh my god! It's like that's shocking. What was that other movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? Inception.
Yeah.
That was a good psychological thriller.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like
The
those
Game?
are good because
The Game with Michael Douglas.
the game
You've
was
seen
that
Like,
was the only movie that I've ever watched that I didn't actually
Me
see
too.
the ending, and they fucking tell you it.
Yeah.
it's just because it like they throw so much curveball
Yep.
in it.
That's the only one that
and it's
got
like
me. You're like,
that
what?
that was the only movie that got me.
Yep.
And everything else like I get, and like I don't know if it's like a hole that they make or whatever, or but like that movie was just so well done that it
that's the
threw
only
me.
one.
And
Saw though. The first Saw got me, but I
that wasn't
was just
but
like,
that's not a psychological thriller.
No.
That's just a horror flick.
Yeah, but the ending of the first Saw, they're like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a good. I'll give Saw credit for that one, but the rest of me, I don't give a shit. I don't want to watch people digging in the guts for a key.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh my God.
like to me, that's not like actually, it's funny enough with Jennifer Lopez. There was a movie called The Cell. I don't know if you're it wasn't like a big popular movie. It was a very
I know what they're talking about. I never saw it.
and it was a horror, but it was a psychological thriller, and she was I think it was a psychologist or something, or therapist, and they were able to go inside the mind of a killer, and like it was all this crazy shit that was going on and all this stuff, and it was horror meets psychological thriller, and it was pretty good, but it was also cheesy as fuck because it was so stupid.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. It's like that type of movie I don't like, and yet like I don't like the fakeness of it, but yet I'll watch Fast and the Furious.
See,
like but the thing, like
but that's cars though.
Yeah, it's cars, it's guns, it's fun, it's cool, it's but like the latest, was it the latest movie, or was it two? I don't remember. I think it was the movie where they're like going through the mountains trying to hijack something, and they like jump off of a cargo plane, and then they're like floating down. Which, okay, sure, I can believe that, but then they get to this point where it's like they get cornered, like Vin Diesel and this girl get cornered, and they're on a cliff, and the road going in either direction is completely off limits because all the bad guys are surrounding them with their guns drawn, ready to fire. So they're just sitting there and being like, oh, we're going to wait, and we're not really just going to fire and shoot. So the only way down or away is going down off the side of the cliff, and you fall like thousands of feet in this car, and somehow they walk away perfectly okay just because it's got a roll cage in the car. And it's like, no, that doesn't make sense. It's stupid as fuck. Like, I get how you want to one up the movie, but why do you have to make it so unbelievable that it's like, this doesn't even make sense.
I don't subscribe to the idea that you have to make everything bigger and better. If you have a formula that works and it's a good movie, then continue on with it. And I don't believe that format of whatever was working gets old. I mean, people do get bored. I get it. And you want to try to, but that's what ruins sequels to every single movie, is they try to be bigger and better, when if they would just keep it with the same format, the sequels would not be ruined. And I have a real problem with that. The second movie of every franchise is always shittier than the first one because they try to be different or bigger and better. Like, no, if you would have just kept the same format and kept it in line, you probably would have been more successful. A great example of that is Die Hard 2. Do you remember Die Hard 2?
Yeah, that was, but
yeah, they're
you're saying like, all movies, but
well, no, there's some good, but that's what ruins the second to a lot of movies.
I think Iron Man 2 was better than Iron Man 1.
So yeah, I'll give you. Is Iron Man 2 the one with
Scarlett Johansson? That's when Black Widow's introduced. And
is it with Mickey Rourke?
Who the fuck is Mickey Rourke?
Mickey Rourke is the dude who has the whips.
Yeah, that's 2.
Okay, that's 2. That is pretty good.
So,
but Iron Man 1 is good.
I mean, all 3 are good.
Yeah, they're all good. So there's an example of like a success story.
Okay, how about this? What's better, Spider-Man 1 or 2? And I'm talking about Homecoming to Far From Home.
No, I never.
The Tom Holland ones, not the bullshit ones with Tobey Maguire.
I have never. I'm not.
And the other
Spider-Man.
douchebag.
Yeah, I don't know. Not into Spider-Man. Yeah, I've never really. I mean, I've seen a couple.
Far From. See, both of them are good in their own way, and it's funny because one's a sequel to the other one, but there's this whole vast network of other movies like Avengers that bring Spider-Man into it, and it's just this whole web of movies. Yeah. Enjoy the pun there, but yeah, so it's like you can't even say Spider-Man 2 or like Far From Home is the sequel to Homecoming, even though it is, because it's his own movie. But yeah, there's more to it.
Well, what about I was trying to find things to watch on Netflix. The Joker, the Heath Ledger Joker Batman is great, right? Yeah. And there's another one on there, which is Batman Begins, I think, and that's the one with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, but he's not.
I mean, that one's not. I mean, the one with Bane is pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Liam Neeson one is kind of like meh.
And that was the first one.
Was it the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. But I will say, though,
Batman Begins was like his story as how he became Batman and like the trials and tribulations that he had to go through when he was, you know, kind of finding himself and everything. Then there was it was The Dark Knight, which was with Heath Ledger and Joker and Two-Face.
And I like the Bane one too.
And then the third one was just Dark Knight Rises, is with Bane. And those ones progressively got better.
Yeah.
So I thought 1 was good.
Okay.
2 was
So I
much
didn't
better.
like 1. Yeah, 2 was the shit.
Well, 1 was good.
Okay.
Good. Remember, good is not great, the best, anything like that. It's like good. It's average. It's something I would watch if it was on.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But 2 was much better.
Yep.
And then 3 was better than that. Plus Anne Hathaway in a nice little uniform. God damn.
Yeah.
Me likey.
Now, see, they need to have more porn like that. So first of all, the first Batman, what I will say, Batman Begins, I want to know who did the special effects on that, because when they get that shit in the water that makes everyone hallucinate. Mm-hmm. When I was trying to quit smoking, well, actually, when I was 21, my grandma wanted me to quit
that's
smoking.
not hard to do. That's just some layering and shit
Right.
that you do
Well,
over the video.
The thing that was impressive to me was when I was 21, my grandma wanted me to quit smoking, bought me like store-bought, not even name brand nicotine patches, right? And I followed the instructions.
What was it? It was like nicotine patches?
Yeah, that's exactly what. So I followed the instructions. You're supposed to take it off before bed, which I did. But if you read the fine print, I thought that I was on a roller coaster. In my dream, I thought that I was on a roller coaster, but the roller coaster was made out of thorns from a rose stems. Yeah, rose bush, right? And the stem was they had thorns, and it was a stem. And
it wouldn't be a podcast without you breaking the fucking microphone.
I'm hitting the microphone every time. So then these thorns were coming out of the side of the cart and trying to kill me, right? But this shit was realer than real life. I was hallucinating in my dream, and I woke up.
When you were hallucinating, you were just having a vivid dream. Yeah. That's all.
So when I saw
the what is it? The DMT in your brain was going pretty strong at that point.
Fucking nuts, right? So I wake up, I'm like, holy shit, that was realer than real life. Like, oh my God. Then I saw the Batman Begins, and the hallucinations in that are pretty fucking good. Like that, if you were on a drug, that's what it would look like. It was like, you know, like pretty fucking good description of being on a hallucination.
There's something really crazy that's coming out, and it's these videos that are, I think it's for VR.
Is it Anne Hathaway porn?
No, it should be, but it's not. No,
only in the Catwoman suit though.
But it's what's crazy about it is it's like when you're tripping. So it's like if you're doing shrooms like psilocybin, or if you're doing DMT, it's supposed to be trips like that.
Yeah.
And it's from, I haven't done neither of them. I do want to try both of them, but from what I've heard, people who have done DMT and psilocybin, they said when they see stuff, or when they see this video, and it's in like its early infancy, so they're like, yeah, that looks very similar. Give it a little bit of time, and people will crack it.
Yeah.
In terms of what it'll look like, and it's like, well, what if you? Does that mean you could literally make yourself trip by having these images? Because you think of it, your eyes make or your brain processes about 2/3 of what you see,
right?
Because eyesight is so important to the brain and perceiving the world around you. Like all your other senses and that kind of fall secondary to your eyesight. And so if you see all these things and it's all in your peripheral and it's everywhere in you, because of the amount of brain power, will that, and then maybe sound or something to kind of like back it up.
Yeah.
Will it trigger your brain to function in a way that it is hallucinating or on psilocybin or DMT?
Yeah.
Without actually taking DMT or psilocybin?
I think that you could probably get an idea, but from the patch that I took, that messed up not only my visual cortex, it messes up your senses. So like you're never going to be able to fully recreate the actual experience of like taking like a mushroom or something like that, because although your visuals get messed up, your hearing gets messed up, but your feeling also gets messed up.
But that's what I'm saying. Like but
So
that's
unless
the
there
whole
was a way
thing.
to
It's like,
incorporate like the actual feeling.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, yeah, you have that feeling, but when it's actually happening and you're seeing it,
Yeah.
and maybe like an audible or something that's going on behind, it's tricking the body, and it's like a placebo. So
Right.
will it induce? That's the whole thing. Will it induce
That's a good question.
that whole trip as if you're taking psilocybin or DMT or ayahuasca or something like that?
Yeah, I wonder if that,
And seeing, but yeah, it's supposed to be this like really crazy trip that's actually like very close to what things look like.
yeah. So you were talking about what you like. I like latex. So you're talking about.
I do too.
Okay, good. Because
What did I say
Well,
that I like?
well, you were saying what you don't like. Like I'm not into the brother and sister.
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
not.
Like there's too much of it.
I
Get
like
out of there
latex.
because
Oh,
it
yeah.
gives them.
It's the nice shiny latex.
Yeah, there needs to be more like more cat suits out there. But you know what? I think adult movies are just like
Did I show you the
other
Kaylee
movies.
Cuoco one? The
No.
picture?
yeah.
I like this. Hold on.
She's in this new movie called The Big Bang.
Yeah, starring me and her.
Yeah.
And
But you know, I think you're
It's porn,
you're
by
right.
the way.
Like I think adult movies are just like regular movies where I've never seen a Jason or a Freddy movie. I've seen one Hellraiser. It actually did scare me. I think it was Hellraiser 3. But that one was kind of creepy. I will give them credit on that. But I think just like adult movies, like people, they all like different things, and good for them. You know, some people like this, some people like that. Good for them. But there's not enough of the genre that I like. See, that's it. There needs to be a lot more. Wow. Amazing.
yeah. And you know,
Is that real?
I don't know if it's real or not. I really don't care.
No. Yeah, see, they don't have. I mean, maybe I just didn't look, but I don't see a lot of like. I'm sure there is like a latex.
Yeah,
Because there's what is it, Rule 34, where it's like there's something for everybody.
Oh yeah,
I think it's
of
Rule
course.
34. at the
There
end of
is.
that.
No, there. I mean, you could get different things. You just got to type it in Pornhub
I
or
never
whatever
even
you're
thought
watching
to
and
look.
look it up. There, it's there. And then there's Kate Beckinsale from Underworld. Oh
I've
my
never seen that movie,
God.
but she is unbelievable
And then
too.
Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Oh my god.
Or the island. She was kind of the island.
Yeah, but she wasn't wearing latex there.
Oh, okay.
Well, she
Yeah,
wasn't
you're
re-
right.
In
No,
Black
that's a
Widow, she
bodysuit.
really in Black Widow she really wasn't wearing latex either. It was more like it was just black and like parts of it were shiny, but like her ass wasn't like you didn't see like the reflection of the lights in her ass.
Okay.
So it was
There's
kind
got
of
to be that kind of genre, right?
yeah, there is. I'm telling you there is because
Yeah.
I know it. I've looked up things.
I got to get into it, man. I
But
gotta get into
the thing is though with latex, it's a lot of like dominatrix stuff. So
See, I'm not
it's
into
like
that.
it's like it's like this fine line that you can
Yeah.
that's like there or not. So
Well, I know the common
and then
misconception.
there's also the masks. Like they'll wear like latex and have like gas masks and
Yeah,
shit
no,
on, and
not
it's just,
that.
it's like really weird. Like
It's always too much.
yeah, it's like just put on the latex.
Yeah.
Like get
Yeah.
naked and get fucked.
Yeah. So, contrary to popular belief, everyone always thinks, "Oh, you look like the kind of guy that wants to be dominated." Like, no, I don't. I don't want to.
What, you don't want a high heel up the ass?
No. I'm not into crushing.
A stiletto?
Yeah. Like, no. There are, I mean, good for you. That's what I'm talking about. Different movies. Good for you if that's what you like.
Yeah.
But people, like friends of ours, have assumed my, what would you even call it?
Sexual
My
identity?
Fetish? Yeah, my fetish.
No, I would say sexual identity
Okay.
because a lot of people say you're gay.
So yeah, that too. And that's why I have to go to this 12-step and work on it. Right? So how can I expect to meet a woman when they think I'm gay?
Don't be gay.
How do I not be gay?
Portray how you become toxic masculinity.
Why do
become a man?
That is my problem. Why do I have to do that? I'm not adjusting to society.
Have society adjust to you.
They should. But unfortunately, that's not how nature and biology works. And I'm aware of
What are you
this.
talking about? What do you think is going on in society currently?
Well, they're all defying nature for sure. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, I'm not into it, and then they always go too far. You're right. Like the latex, the few that I have seen are like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like don't go that far. Just like give me Kate Beckinsale in or her like little costume or something and be like, just get fucked. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Like, like you've seen Underworld too, right?
No.
The second one? Oh, well, she like in the movie, it's her sex scene where I forget
They
what
have
the dude
sex
is.
scenes in it?
Yeah, there's
Wow.
one. So she's put like the it's getting unzippered and like you start seeing like a little side boob and then that's really about it. And because it's like I think it's like PG-13 or something. So it's like, well, what would be really great is if we just made this a porno part, and then you just get naked and get fucked, because that would be awesome.
Well, that's what I love about 80s movies is there's always just they got to show boobs. Like
What
all the 80s
what
movies.
happened to that?
I don't know what happened.
That was
to
all
that.
PG rated movies, and it's like, let's just see some tits.
Yeah, I was
What
watching
is
Police
wrong with some
Academy.
tits?
Yeah, the first Police
No,
Academy.
you're like on a Police Academy kick.
Well,
let's
yeah,
talk
I watch
about
it.
Naked Gun. No, let's talk about Airplane.
Airplane's
You know
a great
when
one.
they're an Airplane when they're going through this X-ray scanner and it's showing their tits.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
See,
that's
it's
fucking
great.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's just like there's some tits.
Yeah.
It's like that's like every little boy's happiness. They're just
Exactly.
like they just get happy. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
titties. I like that.
Exactly
Awesome.
it. Everyone. And the Naked Gun too. There's boobs in that.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Like every time, because my girl likes to sleep naked usually. And so like every morning when she wakes up, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
hello, there's the titties.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Show me. And I'm just like, oh, I feel good. Like
Yeah.
my day is much better already. And it hasn't even started. I just
Yeah,
saw some
see.
titties. I'm okay.
See, I don't have that experience, and that's
well,
why.
that's why you wake up with VR.
No.
Or you could get a sex doll and then you'd be okay because you'd have your doll and she can have titties and you can design the nipple.
Yeah,
they
but
have a
when-
nipple wall.
When they make them real enough so that it's like I just watched Blade Runner, where
I don't know.
replicants. That
I think Whitney Cummings said they feel pretty real.
probably.
You know what's funny about Whitney is I remember watching her. I don't remember if it was a podcast or if it was like her talking, but she had tit implants done recently.
She did.
Yeah.
Oh, Whitney.
And oh no, she still looks great. So she's got implants,
didn't
and
know
I
that.
remember her like talking. I want to say I remember her talking before, saying like, "Oh, I'm not gonna get like that type of cosmetic surgery," and then all of a sudden she has tit implants,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Money.
I guess so. I mean, money must change you. Like if you got the money and you want to look great, then you get some tits.
All right.
or
Well,
something.
how about this? That same woman that I told you I caught feelings for, she got implants after she was already married. And I'm like, why did you do that? You won. You won already. Like you're already married. Why did you do that?
So a friend of mine got implants after she was married
like you
too.
won.
It doesn't matter. I mean, but see, the thing is with that, I think it's more so for internal, like you want to
Yeah.
be happier or something.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's for them.
And whether I mean, and that's the whole thing. It's like, well, are you getting it for your husband or are you getting
No.
it for yourself?
In
And
fact-
and I mean, both sides can be true. So who knows really what happened? But
See, that's how I knew that.
I think you need to get off that girl and like just
I'm
reset
over it.
and
Well,
find somebody else.
I'm over it, and it's not part of my emotional. But for a while, for like a good 6 months, I was out of my mind. Like that's how. There's a Willie Nelson song, which it's actually an Elvis song, which is a great song. It's called "Always on My Mind," right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone should listen to it. It's a good song. Willie Nelson sings a cover of it, and that's for like 6 months. That's how like I was struck, like I was just warped in my brain, and my thoughts were running through my brain like a freight train, and it was everything, every possible scenario and angle and things, and that's not a way to live your life, right? You can't be like I'll speed it out over some person. And then once I started getting over that, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to go through this again. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I just I started becoming interested in other things. And that's why I don't even care about dating now. Like, why? It's because we're men in their 40s are suffering from low T. That's why.
Well, did you hear the new study that says men produce lower testosterone now than 50 years ago?
Yeah, that's a real fake made up study I put on because I want you to buy Androgel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Everything on the internet's true. Have you been carrying your chunk of lime around to prevent from the coronavirus?
No, I just drink Corona.
Okay, I forgot what you said.
It's
Yeah,
so, yeah. You got to have the Corona. It's the liquid inside.
Yeah.
Remember, the lime is just the catalyst that
Yeah.
starts the reaction.
Yeah.
You need to have the beer.
The alcohol kills the germs.
I think it's fun. That's funny. I mean, like the whole how it's called Corona. Why couldn't you just call it something else?
I know. Well, they do have an official name for it, just like everything else.
What is it? The
It is, yeah,
N1R32DD,
that's exactly it.
QR.
Exactly right. Yeah, it's the
something like that.
It's the SR-71 virus.
No, that's a band.
Oh, that definitely is a band.
Yeah, and it's also an airplane.
That's the coolest airplane ever invented.
I like the B2. The B2 stealth bomber is fucking badass.
That's
In
cool.
fact, there's one right by you, right over there.
It is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like an amazing piece of machinery.
It is, in technologically wise. But how could you compare that to the gigantic engines of the SR-71 and the speed?
Because it's
Technology wise, that one.
Yeah.
But power, the SR-71.
It looks like a giant dick. That's all. Have you ever seen one, like in person? It looks like
No.
a giant penis.
Does it really?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen one in person.
Yeah, it looks like a giant penis. There was one here in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, I know.
A couple of years ago when they did the. Oh God, it wasn't even a couple of years. It was like 10 years ago at this point now. When they had the air show, they brought in SR-71, and then the day before they had a B2, which is pretty damn badass. Dude, both of those are fucking big though. They're fucking ginormous.
Well, so I used to live behind the Air Force Base, and the things that I seen flying in and out of there, those things you can't hear them.
No, well,
You can't hear them.
Those
Not
ones
until
you
they're
can't.
landing.
Yeah, those ones you can't, but they're loud as fuck when they land.
Yeah.
And then
So-
when they're just right there, like taxiing to place.
Well, actually, maybe I should be more correct, because these things that would fly into the Air Force Base when it was dark out, you couldn't see them and you couldn't hear them. All of a sudden you would hear,
Well, it's stealth.
yeah, but I don't know if it was actually those flying in. Whatever this craft that would fly into the Air Force Base, some of them were loud as fuck, like those the C-13 cargo planes or whatever they
God,
are.
yeah.
Those things are huge and loud, right? And then any kind of normal
Well,
jets.
its flying coefficient
Yeah.
is so high versus like those things, which is like
Yeah.
better than. Did you know that a bumblebee is like the most aerodynamic?
I do know that
Thing,
they
like-
shouldn't be able to fly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but they're like actually like they're the most aerodynamic inside, like flying.
As far as I
thing.
aware, and I'd have to look this up, I don't think engineers know how they fly. Like the way that they're built, like engineering wise, they shouldn't be able to fly. But anyway, I'd be out on my porch smoking a cigarette, and all of a sudden you would hear, and that's it. And something would land, and I don't know what it was. I couldn't see because it's at nighttime. But the other craziest thing I see was those ramjets that take off the ground vertically. Did you ever see those things?
Yeah.
So one time I was driving to, I was actually going to the reservation to buy the cheap cigarettes. And this thing took off from the left side of the road, went up in the air, flipped upside down where I could see the pilot in the cockpit, and then landed on the other side of the road. Those vertical jets that take off, those things were cool. I've seen a lot of weird shit out there.
Oh yeah, there are definitely a lot of crazy shit that you really don't need.
Yeah, but you have no idea. Secrets.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's what it was. It was Flight of the Bumblebee is based more on force than aerodynamic. That's where I was. I knew I saw aerodynamic, and it's because it's like the weirdest aerodynamic.
Yeah, like I don't
thing.
think that like engineers know how they fly. Like the width, the wingspan ratio to lift and drag and
Yeah, 'cause
force
it's just brute force.
shouldn't.
It's like,
Yeah, they don't know how they fly.
They do. It's called brute force.
Okay.
Bazinga.
Well, I can fly too then.
You can't. You have zero wing ability.
Well, I need to go to the gym and I'm going to get big muscles and then I can fly.
That's not going to do anything.
It doesn't work?
No.
Are you sure?
100% positive.
Man.
Have you seen The Rock flying? No. Unless, and Fast and the Furious doesn't count in any way because it's all bullshit.
All right. So according to this article, November 28th, 2005, it's an old one. Aeronautical engineers had previously proven, quotes, that bees cannot fly. So insect flight expert were researching to investigate the forces that actually work during honeybee flight because aeronautical engineers couldn't figure out how they fly. Is that crazy? And if you look at them, you're like, okay, yeah. Like bumblebees, dude. Some bumblebees are fat as fuck. How do they fly around?
You know what's funny is if you take a tennis racket or like a something that is like big and flat and you smack it to a bumblebee and it's just like pew.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like on its like lower curve as it's coming down, it just like gains 2 and it like flies away.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever see bugs that are coming like a fly after it's frozen, after the frost, that they come to life?
Yeah, but I've seen that more. That's on like YouTube and shit.
Oh,
not,
yeah.
not like
Not
in
real life.
person.
Interesting.
No. I mean, it's the same damn thing. It's not really.
Well, what is your favorite kind of plant?
I like palm.
Okay.
Anything palm, I'm happy with. I enjoy them.
They're these bleeding hearts flowers. Guess what they look like?
Bleeding hearts.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I always thought those were pretty for some reason. Our neighbor has them.
Aren't
I like
those the
those.
ones that like really stink bad?
I don't know. I know.
There's
I don't
one.
know.
What is it? The death plant or something?
Yeah.
And it's like supposed to be like absolutely gorgeous, and then like it smells like
Super stinky.
death. It's so bad. Like I don't even know. I mean, I like palms. Anything palm, I'm happy with.
Those are my
love
favorite
them.
kind of fireworks. Are the gold palms. Psh.
Those are, I think, morning glories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I heard that if you boil or something with morning glory seeds, you can trip. It's probably the same thing with banana peels.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a
Nobody
myth.
knows that you can do that with banana peels.
Yeah. It's just a myth.
What's the spice? Is it what's the one spice that you can?
I don't know.
Is it no? It's not cinnamon.
Maybe.
No, it's not. It's I think it begins with a G. And it's more, I think, what are like a couple of the cookies, or what are the couple of things that are in at like Christmas time?
Oh yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
It's not ginger.
Yeah.
It's something like that. What the fuck is it? Holy crap.
Anise?
No.
Okay. That's a weird name for a spice.
No.
Or for a flavor. Anise?
Anise? No.
Yeah.
It begins
Not
with, I'm
anise.
pretty sure it begins with a G.
Okay.
I'm almost positive it begins with a G. And I'm going to remember it later and I'm going to be like, oh, fuck, that's it. I can't think of what it is right now. I think I got to drink one of more of these things for more sharper thinking.
I've been having trouble remembering people's names. I cannot remember this comedian I just watched. He was pretty
Because
funny.
he probably wasn't that big. He was not that important to you.
No, I think I have
Speaking of, how's your sets coming?
pretty good. I have
start writing
I have
again?
2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you need about another half minute for open mic.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get about 3 good minutes.
Well, now that I'm
you
all
could go up.
settled into my place next time, I'm going to stop going to the 12 step. I think 1 year of time is good enough. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to dedicate it
I'm
to
1 year dependent.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I'm 1 year independent.
Hey, I told you. Mine will do a lot of things for women.
And you're not even getting any. That's the weirdest part. So what the fuck? I'm trying to think. What is that? G Spice. Spice G. Not Spice Girls. I don't want to. Tell me what I want, what I really, really want. Spices and seasonings. Here we go. A to Z. I just want G. That's all I need. And then I will figure it out. Oh my God, there's going to be so many. What the hell? It's probably not even G. God damn it. Gypsum powder. Damn it. I'm not seeing it. It must be something else then. I'm going to remember it and I'm going to text you.
All right.
Like you're going to be like, "Oh, okay." But there's something that like it's not showing up. It might not be spices. It might be an herb. And I think I'm only looking up. Oh no, that just says spices and seasonings. Maybe an herb, spice jungle. It might not even be G. Watch, it's probably not even going to be G. Fucker. So mad. There's so many. I didn't realize there was that much.
Spices?
Holy shit. Yeah, just anything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's ginger? No, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. I'll think of, or like I said, I'll remember it later down the road, and I'll be like, I'll text you when it is. But it's like, I mean, you can do a couple of things and get a pretty good buzz or high off of it. Yeah,
Well,
I don't remember.
So the banana peels, there's a band called Smoking Banana Peels, or maybe a song, I forget.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if
it doesn't
you can
even actually work.
You can't even do it. I think the morning glory seed thing is real though.
I don't know.
Probably.
How about the poppy seed?
Well, yeah, you could definitely. Like I had to say, I had poppy seed bagels like 4 times during my drug test. So
Dun, dun,
yeah.
dun.
I told you I'm going to be a comedian.
Hey, well, we'll see. I told you I'm gonna be on you for the.
Have you seen the movie The Joker?
Which one?
The Joker with
No.
Heath Ledger,
It wasn't with Heath Ledger.
or not with Heath Ledger, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Yeah.
But no, I have not.
Okay, when you watch it, let me know.
I probably won't see it anytime soon.
All right,
I don't have TV, and I don't really like to watch.
I get it.
The only thing I really watch is YouTube videos,
Yeah, me too.
and I only watch YouTube videos to like learn new things. I mean, there's some that I watch that's for entertainment though too, but a lot of the stuff I watch is like to learn new editing or like the latest gear of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's always fun to have new stuff instead of using webcams for our recording.
Yeah.
But for right now, it's going to work.
It does work. Yep. Can be sweet.
So it'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah. Oh, your videos have been hilarious too, by the way. Those are funny.
Thanks.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, we're trying to do some other fun stuff, which is just a good time, and bring some comedy instead of the normal lax bullshit. Yeah. So it's fun. Yeah, it's a good time. Just need those to take off. That'll be
Yeah, they
fun.
will.
Oh yeah.
So my last thing, there was this internet dude, and
Are you sure it was a dude? Why aren't you assuming?
I'm definitely assuming his gender, and maybe I shouldn't because he was in a pink suit.
Oh,
like
there
a
you go.
pink
He might
bodysuit.
not.
Yeah, he was in a pink bodysuit.
She might not.
Yeah, and I've always seen a meme of this. I've seen some clips in a meme, but I didn't know who it was.
Was it actually Pink the singer? Because sometimes she can look like a guy. With the short hair.
Yeah.
She does wear a lot of suits.
Yeah.
It may make you question.
Have you seen her? She comes down and like does this crazy rope, like how they hang the silks from the ceiling, and it's silk work. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you would call it, but it's straight acrobatics, dude.
Yeah, no, I know. What you're
She
talking about.
comes down and on that and like flips around and does. That's some crazy skill in her show. I have to give her credit for that because I know someone who does that. I'm like, holy shit, flipping around doing all this shit. In fact, I'm going to see. I hope maybe she'll come and be a guest. That'd be fun. Talk about.
All right, well, reach out to her manager, see if she will.
Yeah. No, not Pink. My friend that does the.
Oh,
the
I
silk
thought you were
thing.
talking about Pink. I'd be like, oh, that'd be pretty cool to talk
hey,
to her.
Pink, can you come over and explain?
There's a
that?
few things I have some questions on that I'd like to discuss with you, especially your wokeness and your husband's conservative values.
Okay.
And how those two work together.
Yeah, I don't know her story. What is the story with her?
I don't know. Apparently some of the things, yeah, I mean, Google it. It's all on there. So you apparently some of the things that she says or does is like for wokeness.
Okay.
And, I mean, this is a few years ago. So I mean, this was before it's like that bar has gone like from here to like way over here now.
Yeah.
So even maybe some of the things she did is not even woke anymore, but, yeah, some of the things she said was like just, or did was like this woke, but yet her husband is like conservative and like, so it's like, how does that dynamic really work? And then the question that I really have, especially for most actors and actresses or people with fame, is you're mostly appreciated. And then when people when people want to tear you down, they reach in, grab as much as they can to pull you down.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the question is, are these actors and actresses really giving their true opinions on the bullshit that they're spewing? Or are they doing it because they want to avoid the bullshit that they're getting from all these people who are going to tear them down.
Right.
And then also, are they trying to act that way to bolster their and improve their career for something down the road?
I get that, yeah.
That's one of the things that I really want to know, because some of the people that they have, it's like, well, what's the question? Like, why are you doing that? Like, and I have that question to people, because like, are you being genuine? Or do you actually believe the stuff that you're spewing out, or do you think it's bullshit and you're spewing out because you want to further your career?
Right, for sure.
So that's what I'm curious on.
Yeah. Oh, you're totally right. I know a guy who, and people don't realize that they're doing this. I know a guy who has to put other people down to make himself feel good. Right?
There's quite a few people,
and he doesn't
like that.
know that he's doing it.
It's called a narcissist.
And yeah,
there's a lot
bully,
of narcissists
straight
out
up
there.
bully, right? So he's always bullying this girl that I know, and she's always coming in and saying, "Oh, he said this and he called me fat and blah blah blah." I'm like, you don't understand. Like, he needs to make fun of you and everyone else to make himself feel powerful, to make himself feel good. Now this guy bleaches his hair, right?
And maybe the bleach is going into his
It's
brain
what I like,
and
just,
leaching in and making him
like,
stupid.
I keep telling her, I'm like, just tell him you can't understand him over the sound of his hair bleaching. And she will not like give it back to him and burn him. And I'm like, well, he's good. Not always going to keep picking on you. You shouldn't do that. But like, I don't
sometimes
understand.
you got to put people in their place.
Yeah. And it's like, you can't keep putting up with this. Either go, move away from him, or, well, you need to understand though why he's doing it. He needs to make himself feel better by putting you down. And I think that's what's happening in our culture with this cancel society and all this. I think
that's though been going on for quite a while.
For
it's
sure.
Like, instead of, I saw a post on Facebook, and it was Channel 2, which is WGRZ.
Okay.
And they posted something about like a lottery ticket was a gift, and it was a $1 million winner. So like this one woman bought another woman, her friend, I think, or maybe her best friend or something, for her birthday, a lottery ticket. That lottery ticket ended up being a $1 million winner. And so they posted something on it. And it's like, that's cool. But if I was that original that woman who bought it, I'd be fucking pissed off.
Sure.
Because I'd be like, that's $1 million. I could have had that million. And it's like, you might say, oh, I'm so happy for you, and not really mean it. And you're like on the inside, you're like, I hate you. I should have kept that ticket. You piece of shit.
Yeah.
And like that's like what it comes down to. It's like things like that have been around since the beginning of time.
I experienced that in my own my job. When someone does their job better than me and gains a giant reward, I immediately feel just for a split second, I'm like, oh, that should have been me. But then I realized what's good for the goose is good for a gander, however you want to say it. I'm happy for them. But when we all do well, we all do better, right? So then I logically tell myself, let's be happy. But it's a human instinct to be angry. But
then that's the whole thing. A lot of people don't think about it, and they'll stick with that hatred feeling. And like, even though you're like, and that's one of the big things. It's like, success is something you should aspire to do, not try to attack and pull somebody down.
For sure.
And then when somebody's staggering, you pull them down even more. It like doesn't make sense.
And that's the view I have, is like, oh, you did great. Like that initial, like, it's a jealousy, really. Like, I'm jealous that that's them and not me. If that's like a natural human reaction. Yeah. And as soon as I get over that, like, wait a minute, they're doing great. That's going to make it better for all of us. Good for them and good for them. So then my logic comes, but there are some people who are just like, whoever knows what's going on in their own shitty personal life, where they're just like, I need to make myself feel superior and better than everyone else. So I'm going to call her fat and tell her that, her hair looks ugly and she's fat. And I'm going to call him stupid. And they're doing it, lashing out at them to make themselves feel good because of their own shitty personal lives or whatever their problem is. I'm like, that's what's happening with this cancel culture. It's like, my own life sucks, so fuck them. And
right. Instead of trying to improve on themselves and make their life better or changes in their life, because that's so much more difficult than spewing bullshit on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
And so much different.
I got too many things going on. And I'm like, okay. So with that, well, fucking people, don't cancel people unless they really deserve it.
No, but all right, we're gonna wrap this bitch up.
Yep.
You got a quote for today?
I have a good one for the subject they were talking about. I just had it. I know. Oh, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Marcus Aurelius, apparently.
Don't think about it. Act.
Yeah.
Because inaction won't get you shit.
Yeah. There is no try. There's
There's
only
only
do
do.
or do not.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody.
I was Aaron. We forgot to introduce ourselves today.
I think-
I'm Aaron. That's
Okay.
Chris.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody.